What up, fellow Kung Fu movie fans? This is Gary Williams from FilmFanDojo.com coming to you today. What I want to talk about today is the Kung Fu reboot, reimagining on the CW. Now it premieres next week, April 7th, on the CW, and also, if you're like me, you're going to watch it the next day on the CW app for free. So I just want to give my thoughts and commentary on it. I've seen the trailers, I've seen the featurettes and everything. So we know this time things are a little different based on the reboot. First, the protagonist is going to be a heroine, a Chinese American woman named Nikki Shin. And Nikki's going to be played by Olivia Liang. We have the great Tzi Ma. Oh man, love Tzi Ma. Playing her father, Jin Chen. We got Ludi Lin. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, but Ludi Lin, who we'll see in a couple weeks in Mortal Kombat as Liu Kang. We have quite a stacked cast. Gwendolyn Yao. We have Gavin Stephenhouse playing Nikki's ex-boyfriend. We have Shannon Dong, who's playing Nikki's sister, Athena Shin, who's the computer geek expert. We have her brother, Ryan Chin, played by John Prasida. And so we're getting some good Asian American representation on this series, some much needed Asian American representation on a TV series. And we got to believe that will bring representation, for Asian Americans on the screen, on the small screen. And then of course we have Mortal Kombat coming in April, a few weeks later. Then of course, I think it just got moved back though, but sometime in September we have Shang-Chi, which I'm really looking forward to. So but I want to talk about the Kung Fu reboot. Now we know that the original Kung Fu was starring David Carradine, and I gotta say, many people, we see many videos about how that was supposed to be Bruce Lee's series, and then we have Warrior, and we have other things now. But I really like David Carradine in Kung Fu, and not for his martial arts, but for how he played the character. He seemed to be both humble, well, really humble and philosophical at the same time, and honestly, he pulled it off well. Quote unquote, the whispering thing that was supposed to be the accent aside and everything. And of course, the martial arts weren't the greatest in the series, but it wasn't about that. It was more about the philosophical underpinnings and the lessons that he learned from the Shaolin Temple. So I don't know if this new show is going to go into the philosophical lessons. I hope it does, but based on the trailers, I'm seeing a little of that. But of course, it's going to be wrapped in modern sensibilities, because Kung Fu was not only made in the 70s, it was set in the old West time. So we're going to have a little modern sensibility Kung Fu with this now. And I don't want to make this a long commentary, because ultimately it's up to you to watch it and see what you like. I'm just giving my thoughts. And as I look at the fight scenes that I've seen, and you will see when I have the commentary playing in the background here, it's modern, for lack of a better term. They're trying to be the character Olivia learned traditional Kung Fu, looks more like a mixture of MMA, Wushu, contemporary Wushu, and some other things that these fights these days typically have. So I'm gonna hold my thoughts on that, but I'm just looking at the trailer. I mean, it is what it is. It's and again, comparing the two, the old school Kung Fu show was not the best fight scenes, but being I'm old school, I'm partial to things of that era. I will keep an open mind with the fight scenes and everything, but it's just looking, unfortunately, typical of what I expect, particularly from the CW. A lot of glitz gammers, cutting of angles and stuff, and a lot of acrobatics in the fight scenes, as much as the cast and stunt crew can deliver, and given the time I'm sure they were given to come up with the fights in these episodes. So, not gonna say disappointed, just typical. What it looks as typical of modern rendering of martial arts type choreography. You know, so some things that I think are different based on the featurette in the trailer is that I believe the Shaolin temple in this movie is more like a nunnery, because it seems like it's all female monks or nuns or students. They're Shifu, the teacher, or I guess she's called mentor in the description. I'm going to call her Shifu. The teacher is a woman. It's great. Nothing against it. So it's just different. I'm comparing him. So, you know, Kane, of course, was in the Shaolin monastery with all the male monks, and this Kung Fu seems to be, maybe it's a female nunnery offshoot of Shaolin in the story. Not sure. Would have liked them to go with the direction of what you and I could do if we wanted to. We could go to the Shaolin Temple in Henan Province and be students based, you know, we could pay our money and just be students, because I think I read that the Olivia Liang's character, Nikki Chen, is rich. The character's rich. So she could just go pay for the Dongfeng County Shaolin Temple course and still have a similar storyline, and have more of a kind of like, it would be interesting, in my opinion, to see the mixture of the laymen that's there at the temple, the monks, the female layman students, and maybe even some female monks thrown in, because this is a show. So that would have been, to me, a little more interesting take on her experience. But, you know, that's just me. And so I found that to be quite interesting, and also wanted to see that delved into. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to watch it the day after on the CW app for free. Hopefully it surprises me. Hopefully it is not what I typically expect it to be. I want to see Ludi Lin. Hopefully, I don't know if he even appears in the first episode, but hopefully he does, or we get to see some Kung Fu from him. We know that she's going to end up fighting some triad-like gang people that's shaking down her dad and the family. So we're gonna see where it goes. I mean, I think it's a reboot or reimagining of Kung Fu in name, as opposed to, and not necessarily a shot-for-shot remake. No one wants that, but modern sensibility. So some pluses is that it has that looks like a predominantly Asian American cast. Very good. Hopefully it'll touch on some issues that deal with that within the Asian American community and outside of it. Hopefully it will use her Kung Fu training, not only physically, but like Kwai Chang Caine, in that it'll be philosophical with some of the Buddhist and Taoist type of sayings and actions, and hope we see her character evolve from, I'm guessing, spoiled rich girl who finds her way to Shaolin to center herself to a more mature voice in this community that they're going to set up inside of this show. So I'm looking forward to that. The fight scenes, I'm still going to hold my breath for something that I particularly want to see. Now, I'm under no illusion that it'll be like the glory heydays of the Shaw Brothers Golden Harvest era in terms of fight choreography. I just hope that they're good and they don't fall into the trap of this generic modern fight choreography where everybody's doing the same stuff, the same combos, the same finishers, the same MMA mixture with contemporary wushu, where they're doing something MMA, then they land in the ubiquitous wushu stance with one knee on the ground, one arm on the ground, and one arm outstretched. I might be in the minority, but after all these years of seeing that, I'm sick of it. So I'm hoping, but I'm going to hold my breath and wish for the best. But that is my commentary. That's what I want to see. But I'm going to have an open mind. I'm going to watch the show the day after. Again, like I said, the day after on the CW app. I'm going to put my thoughts up either on the blog or do a video, just my thoughts of the first episode. So look for that maybe April 10th, because April 9th we got Fight Scene Friday with Japanese martial arts movie, so I don't want to mess with that. Put up April 10th. You'll see my thoughts on the first episode of Kung Fu. And again, Kung Fu coming on your local CW networks next week? April 7th. I think that's a Wednesday, April 7th, 2021, on your local CW network. So if you're Kung Fu movie fan, Kung Fu TV show fan, I think you deserve at least to check it out and see episode 1 and see what we're going to be working with. So again, this is Gary Williams of FilmFanDojo.com coming to you. This is my thoughts on the Kung Fu reboot or reimagining. And as always, have a great day, and we will see you soon.